early 2010s Tumblr era where everybody was posting a grainy selfie with the hashtag I just woke up like this. Today, the glow up is real anesthesia, a rib of cartilage, and some guy off of Instagram who calls himself Dr. Nose God. What? And if you scroll for even 20 seconds on your FYP, you will come across some influencer peeling off their nose cast. Now, these videos get millions of views, and TikTok's latest viral victim is Zuri the Alchemist.
Apparently, I got my nose done by Michael Jackson's doctor, and you guys ate me up in the comments. But again, I'm still in the early stages of healing. This is not my final form. I can't wait to document my journey and take you guys along to see how my healing goes and develops.
The moment she realized... Somebody commented, whoever did your nose is a smooth criminal. She said, I'm happy with my nose, and the comments said, you have no choice. She has a twin sister, so every time she looks at her sister's perfect untouched nose, she'll be reminded that she had no business getting a nose job like that. Michael, is that you? Ain't no fixing it now. Ain't enough nose left.
If you have a wide nose and then you pinch it and then you turn it up to the side, it will always give Miss Piggy. Michael Jackson. You see, if you are a young girl or even just a woman in general, it is very easy to laugh at these moments, to laugh at these creators that go through stuff like this. But I actually think it's a perfect teaching moment to scare people's heads back onto the right place. Zuri, this woman's nose looks so beautiful before. And that's not just coming from me. This is also coming from everyone in her comment section. And when I make these videos saying that you should keep your African features, you should keep your native features, there are always people in my comments saying that, oh, I should just allow people to do what they want with their bodies. And at the end of the day, yeah, sure, you can do what you want. I'm not going to hold your hand and force you to do anything. But if you listen to anything that I've ever said, listen to this. If you're changing your nose to try and make yourself look or feel more beautiful, forget it. Because your natural nose, whether you want to believe it or not, your natural nose, the one that you were born with, is going to be the best suit for your face, period.
Yes! I couldn't have said it better. I could not have said that better. Exactly. We're all gonna start looking like a monolith if we don't learn to love our features. And it's gonna be a weird day when everybody looks the same. She's a TikTok creator who went live 5 weeks post-op, who pretty much looked like she had hired a Pixar animator to redesign her entire head. Comments ranged from hee hee all the way to women pretty much talking about how this discouraged them from wanting to do something to their own noses.
I wanted my nose done, but after seeing that lady, and you know what lady I'm talking about, I think I'm gonna sit my silly ass down. I think I'm gonna, like, the filter, you really can't see how big my nose really is. It's just like, I mean, you can see it, but this part is real big, and I just want it, like, I want it to look like this for real. Just like this. You see it's a filter on it. Without the filter, it's like it's just like a hump right here. It's just like, I can't stand it. But you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone.
Why is it that I'd pick my own nose over any of these done-up noses ever? Like, that's always what happens. And she's not the only one on the nose job hype train. Memphis rap superstar Glorilla popped up with a freshly pinched profile and immediately trended harder than her last single because everybody couldn't believe how bad it looked. Oh, poor Glorilla.
I don't care if I had all the money in the world. I would never get a nose job. Once someone gets a nose job, they are about to enter into an identity crisis. Your nose literally frames your face. Whether you love it or hate it, that nose makes or breaks your face. You change that, you will never look the same. Granted, I have seen people, who had like disfigured noses or like, something was wrong with it, like, messed up, and they got nose jobs and, it looked nice. But getting a nose job, just because you want your nose a little bigger or a little smaller, is going to fuck you up. You want to know why? Because that shit is never going to look right. Never. And you're going to have to keep getting surgeries because you're going to want to know, why do you look so off? You look off because you shouldn't have touched your nose.
It's 7 p.m. fry. It's 95 degrees. I got a new nose, but nobody agrees. Rip, I love that song, Glorilla. Why'd you have to do that?
Try not to follow plastic surgery trends. This is an extreme Turkish Barbie nose rhinoplasty. The pre-op picture shows a dorsal, so she probably needed a reduction. Afterwards, she has a nostril incision. The tip is severely upturned where it's almost like a straight line. The septum, there's very little of it left. And in the pre-op video, you can see the nose, but afterwards, the nasal bridge is severely reduced. The tip is severely upturned. I don't like the results at all. Avoid them at all costs.
By the time Cardi B went ahead and got a nose job, the internet collectively agreed upon something. We are in a full-blown nose job epidemic, and the results are starting to creep everyone out. Get me out of here. I don't want to see your hee-hee nose anymore. Now, I'm not here to shame anybody for changing up their face. Honestly, go ahead and do what you will with your own cartilage, queen. But let's make something crystal clear. The Barbie nose craze is erasing ancestry, wrecking bank accounts, and leaving a trail of revision consults longer than a TSA line at LAX. Now, you hot tamale booty besties better buckle up, because we are slicing through the hype, the scar tissue, and all of the lies that these surgeons are whispering in their patients' ears when the ring lights are on. Rhinoplasty sales love the word refine. We'll just refine the bridge. A subtle tip refinement, if you will, for that perfect and cute Barbie nose. Cute, isn't it? Except that refinement usually requires smashing and resetting the nasal bones, shaving cartilage like it's deli meat, and praying scar tissue doesn't tighten around your airway like a zip tie.
Guys, I've just left my surgeon. He said I'm healing amazing. Like, if you didn't know, I had a rhinoplasty and I also have pixie nose, and she is giving pixie. I'm in love. Oh, sorry guys, I have to watch out for my ear. But like, yeah, he said that basically I'm healing amazing, like everything's healing how it should be, even faster actually, which is really great.
Okay, not the ear with an AirPod on her neck. I really hope she's doing this to clown us and that she doesn't actually have a pig nose, but I'm sorry, but is the pixie nose in the same vicinity? Okay, it's a prosthetic. There's a video of her taking it off. No, she got me good there. Surgeons never mention the part where you're gonna spend weeks mouth breathing and sleeping upright and then consistently Googling why your nose clicks every single time you smile.
Let me tell you the truth about getting a nose job, because if I'm gonna de-influence anything, it's gonna be that. First of all, I looked like this because they're literally opening your face and breaking your nose. It is the gnarliest experience of my entire life. I took the painkillers the first 4 days and I genuinely do not remember a thing. But then the 5th day comes and I didn't take them and I started having awful diarrhea, like bad. Then on my way to my plastic surgeon checkup, I started to feel bad, like fever and chills. I made my dad pull over at this nasty Dunkin' Donuts on the side of the highway. I went in the bathroom, I threw up like 10 times, no exaggeration, and then I passed out on the floor, and yes, I did fall on my face. I get to the plastic surgeon's office and I still cannot stop puking, and my plastic surgeon informs me that I'm actually going through withdrawals from the painkillers, and if I can't stop puking, that I'm gonna need to go to the hospital. Thank God I ended up being okay, but those painkillers triggered my first manic episode and a psychotic episode that led to me getting diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Also, it doesn't magically fix your insecurities. Want to hear something crazy? I'm actually still insecure about my nose.
From there, you finally look at yourself in the mirror and you go, yes, my nose is perfect. But now your lips somehow aren't thick enough. If you just got a little bit of those fillers, you'd be perfect. Everything would be great. Oh, but now your chin is looking a little weak in comparison to the lips and the nose, so you should get chin filler too. If you received Depo-Provera birth control shots and were later diagnosed with a brain or spinal tumor called meningioma, you may be eligible for a lawsuit. Morgan & Morgan is investigating claims that patients weren't properly warned about this risk. It's free to check, takes a few minutes, and you don't pay unless they win. Click the link below or go to forthepeople.com/Lael to see if you qualify. It's an endless cycle, and more often than not, you continue to get more procedures on your face and your body in order to look like you are perfect, but perfection will never actually exist. The sad thing is, it's never just one procedure.
The reason why so many people, particularly women, fall for the trap of plastic surgery and other optional enhancements is because we are told that being beautiful is the most important thing that we could or would ever be. The reason why so many people feel that they need to get plastic surgery is because they believe that beauty is individual features and not the sum of the parts. And the reason why some people become plastic surgery addicts is because they eventually learn that beauty is the sum of the parts, and that when you change one part, you must now change the other parts to match.
That's why I think facial plastic surgery can be so incredibly damaging, and it leads to some of the worst facial and body dysmorphia you could ever experience. I really miss unique features. It's what made people so naturally beautiful, and now everybody looks the same. If you guys haven't watched my video where I deep dive on the fact that everybody is starting to get this one homogenous look, you can go ahead and click right here. My nose being my favorite feature after being bullied for having a wide nose feels like a victory. I'm not meant to have a Eurocentric nose because it wouldn't fit me. I love urinalysis. I grew up hating my jaw for a very long time. If any of you guys have watched my videos, you know this is for a fact. My ex-boyfriend used to make fun of me for it all the time. He used to tell me cover your jaw with your hair so people wouldn't notice how absolutely monstrous my jaw is for the fact that I can eat apples all day long if I really want to. And instead of going ahead and deciding to change it because I felt bullied, I really felt like I had achieved something wonderful by deciding not to do anything about it and deciding not to change it, because what does other people's opinion mean to me? Like, so then what happens? You end up getting more procedures and spending more and more money on fillers and God knows what, just so you can start looking more like your favorite influencer or celebrity. 18-year-old me, when I saw 2016 Kylie Jenner and got my first lip injections, not realizing it would lead to a very expensive plastic surgery addiction. What started as a simple nose job to correct one outstanding insecurity really ends up turning into a never-ending cycle. And it's a cycle that just sucks money out of you and pumps it into an industry that feeds off of all of your insecurities. Plastic surgery doesn't fix your insecurities, it makes you insecure about something else. It's exactly like those girls that were making that podcast. They said the more surgery you get, the more surgery you get. If you're gonna get one thing done, it is very likely that it will lead you to have to go and get more things done, revisions. Maybe you start to have body or face dysmorphia and then you need to fix something else. It fixes the insecurity and then creates another one. I'm okay with that. I'm bored of the ones that I have. Honestly, let's switch it up. Like 27 years of the same insecurity. Like, let's get something new going, guys. Nothing can be worse than my nose. I feel like some people's insecurities, specifically about the nose, can be very difficult to overcome.
I think it's way more radical to accept your face as it is, as you were born. Find the confidence within yourself to love yourself and move on. Yeah, you're allowed to get plastic surgery, but I don't understand why, like, when people critique it, it's like, well, they want it. They're happier. They're blah, blah. That is so pathetic. You have to what? Cut and sew your eyelids to feel better and to like live your life? Like it is vain, because ultimately, like, the world is still going to revolve whether you are conventionally beautiful or not. Like, that's it. And I think ultimately, if you need to like physically change something about yourself that you look at every day, you're better off just going to therapy and getting help like that way. It seems a lot cheaper.
Honestly, what she's saying is really reminding me of a clip from a podcast that I really want to show you guys.
So good in a bikini. Nobody's gonna remember your flat stomach or your thigh gap or your clothes size. They're gonna say like, remember that weekend in Lisbon, or remember that night out, or they're gonna remember the way you made them feel, the way your laugh sounded. I just hate that we're so cruel to ourselves as women, and we think we should be reduced down to something as trivial as the way we look. We are strong and bright and brilliant and powerful and so much more than how we look. So if you are worrying and putting your life on hold in some desperate attempt to look a certain way, you're just going to regret it. Embrace everything life throws at you. Eat the pizza, drink the cocktail, kiss the boy, book the flight, whatever it is. Just live your life and stop being in pursuit of some...
I love that so much, because nobody's gonna remember how snatched your nose was, girl. Like, nobody's gonna be like, oh, thank God she got 3 of those nose jobs because I really snatched her right. No, like, nobody's gonna remember you for that. People are gonna remember how you made them feel, and it's so not that deep. It's so vain when you do think about it, because life is filled with so much more. Someone better stand up and say I look good in a bikini. Girl, I'll say it at your funeral. Don't you worry about it. That's definitely what I'm gonna say about my best friend. I don't want her to die before me. That would be horrible. Now, these are some crazy stats. Global rhinoplasty pulled in $6 billion last year. Revisions alone are projected to hit $1 billion by 2027.
Have you ever heard the term, you're not ugly, you're just poor? Allow me to show you why that's true.
Let's talk about some of the things that I've done. The overall cost of what this would be. I've lost 115 pounds. I had plastic surgery, which ended up costing me about $30K because I did all my surgeries at once. So anesthesia room fees and operating room fees were all included. To lose the last 30 pounds that I lost and to titrate off of that, Manjaro, or the active ingredient, cost about $800 a month. I do 1 syringe of lip filler yearly. I do full face toxin about every 4 months. I do PRF facial injections, and I do the Easy Gel twice a year. Radio frequency microneedling to tighten my skin, to improve my overall texture, to help with my scarring. I do 3 times a year.
Sorry, girl, I'm trying to buy a house. Sorry, girl. I think that's really cool, but I'm trying to buy a house. Oh, don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everybody wants this. No, I don't want that. No, I'm sorry, queen. This transparency is next level and I'm so here for it. Yeah, no, I applaud you, bestie. Like, that is amazing. Sending this to my husband so he sees how much money I save us yearly. Yes. I swear, the industry absolutely banks on your first surgery not being your last. Every touch-up runs at a higher price tag because every single doctor wants to blame the previous doctor for making a mess out of your nose. And also partially due to the fact that scar tissue in your nose is a complete nightmare. When Zuri shaved her cartilage down until light could literally pierce through both nostrils, the comments screamed self-hate, and they weren't entirely wrong. Years of celebrities, movies, and Instagram influencers have trained us women to look at our faces as if they're a crime scene, searching for evidence of excess width and length and bulge on the tip and bulge on the nose bridge, or even our own heritage that needs to somehow be surgically redacted.
Are the beauty standards that shock me as a person from Hong Kong. The first one is the button nose. I couldn't believe that people get rhinoplasty to remove the bump on their nose to make the nose look flatter. I personally have a flat nose, so I always want to have a masculine nose with a bump on my nose bridge. In fact, it's common for Asian people to get nose implants to make their nose more prominent and more structural. When I first came to the US, I was so shocked that people get surgery to flatten their nose, and I always found their original nose look better.
You're the realest person on this app. Hell yeah, brilliant. This makes me realize how subjective beauty really is. I focus way too much on how my face looks, and I need to learn to let go. This is why I never compare my features to others. It always changes. I'm assuming she's talking about the beauty standard because exactly, it all depends on where we're from and what we each deem as beautiful.
The Whoville nose is getting crazy. It's getting crazy. Like, when y'all going to these surgeons, who is the reference photo that you showing them? Cindy Lou Who? Martha May? Whovier? Like, who are you showing them as the picture of the nose that you want? Because clearly it's giving Dr. Seuss. It's definitely
something about this woman's accent. She's comforting me to like another level. I just feel like she's wrapping me up in her warm voice. I really like her voice. I want to hear. Can she start a podcast?
Now, I'm not completely against y'all getting those jobs, and I don't really see it as being anti-black until y'all take it too far, right? Because other races of women get those jobs too. They the originators of getting those jobs, right? They parents be out here giving them nose jobs for their birthdays, graduations. They treat nose jobs like braces. A lot of them be having like a big bump in their nose that they be trying to get removed. Or they be having these big long beak noses that look like birds that they be trying to fix. So I get that if you don't like your nose, you can do things to fix it. It's the type of nose y'all are picking.
You know, the bump is sexy, girl. Like, you know it is. Like, right? Stop.
You're
stop
going
pretending.
In there and you're trying to get a nose that does not fit black features. Right? A lot of these noses,
Give me that.
Clearly trying.
Them big, long noses that look like birds. Exactly. The doctors are just taking people's money at this point. Exactly. Then these surgeons start leaning into that buzzword of like an ethnic nose job and trying to have ethnic preservation, which I mean, of course, is kind of the whole goal. Isn't the whole goal if you're going to do your nose to not look like you really did your nose?
This is an example of one of the best ethnic rhinoplasties. This is Tiana Taylor. I didn't even realize that she had a nose job. It looks like she was born with that nose. I love that her surgeon kept her ethnic features, but just like tweaked them a little bit to make them a little bit smaller. This is a perfect example of what people should be asking for. It's basically a smaller version of their original nose instead of trying to go for like a Barbie nose or something like a white girl nose. It's really hard to turn an ethnic nose into a really tiny like Barbie nose, if that makes sense. And so I love that she decided to go for a more natural nose job. This is another angle of her nose job. Look at that. Like, it looks like they raised the tip just a little bit. They made the bridge a little skinnier, and then they brought in the nostrils a little bit. I love how her nostrils aren't like super small. It looks really natural.
You're just like taking away that thing you don't like, or is that even possible? Am I living in a dream world?
Y'all want to know what black people and Asian people have in common, at least right now? Both of us are talking about these ethnic rhinoplasties. Both of us are talking about how our people are valuing white and how they don't like their ethnic features. Both of us. At the same time, I don't know the Asian examples because I'm not Asian. I don't really pay attention to what they got going on over there. I saw Glorilla's nose. I love Glorilla. We're from the same city. We graduated from the same school. Not at the same time. Obviously, she's much older than me. Is it the worst nose job that she could have got? No, because it really don't look like all that much of a difference except for like the pinch tip. And I don't, like, if you're gonna get a nose job, like, make it show a difference. I know that there's this saying of you're not ugly, you're just broke. I thought that only applied to like getting your teeth fixed and like getting your hair done, stuff like that, and makeup and all that. That's what I thought that was applied to, which is really all she needs. She got her teeth done, okay, good, cool. She keep her hair done, okay, great. And she naturally has a pretty face. I don't really think she needed it, but hopefully people, start shying away from stuff like that, because
I think it really goes to show that this whole homogenous look is really not subject only to one race. It's not for just white people. It's that people of all different nationalities are still kind of moving towards this one ideal look, this ideation that we all should look a certain way. And that total blueprint is coming from some white lady. I don't get it, because I also find it very interesting that some women will go to such extreme lengths to have big, beautiful, massive lips, the same way that black women are naturally born with that. It's this absolutely impossible beauty standard. No matter where you're from, you cannot attain it. And of course, if you're somebody with a wider nose bridge or a woman of color, your nose is going to be different than that of somebody who's of like, oh my shit, what? Oh my God. Respectfully, I don't know what I was just saying. I thought a bug just flew at me, but it was literally just one of my lashes. So we are going to continue one lash less. I think this idea goes so much deeper because your nose is kind of a direct relation to where you came from. People with larger noses come from certain areas. People with smaller, tinier noses come from certain areas. Just like that one creator mentioning how Asian people want to create that bump in their nose because they don't have it naturally. It is so bizarre how we all want something we don't have, and what a beautiful reflection our nose is of our ancestors and our past. Like, I love my nose for all of those reasons. And I also get really scared that if I change my nose, I'm going to have like facial dysmorphia for the rest of my life. Like, I'm thinking more long term. All of this is incredibly common with rhinoplasties. Sure, you can go ahead and get an ethnic rhinoplasty and avoid that eeny, teeny, tiny, weensy Barbie nose, but it does take away from the uniqueness of your own face and your natural features. And like it or not, your face unfortunately will never be the same again. And especially for influencers who most women look up to. Seeing somebody you follow, like Glorilla or Cardi B, for having unique features that are so similar to yours, just to then decide to get rid of it, it makes you feel like you should do the same thing as well.
I am never, ever, ever getting a nose job. And it was the one thing that I always wanted. My mom made fun of me for it. People made fun of me for it. It was called my beak because it's shaped like a beak. And now it is one of my favorite parts about me. Am I the most confident person on the planet? Absolutely not. Are there mornings I wake up and I wish that I was different? Yeah, but this is not one of those videos where you're like, don't get that nose job. You're just gonna look like every other bitch out there. You're just gonna blend in. I'm not doing that because those women fell for the lie that they needed to change themselves, and they're victims too. For me, not changing my indigenous nose, it's an act of resistance against the patriarchy, colonialism, capitalism. And if one little girl can look at me, because representation matters, it crucially matters. If one little girl can look at me and go, wow, she's so beautiful, but she has my nose and I think she's beautiful, maybe I am beautiful too. And that's all that matters.
Catch me dead before I ever make fun of my daughter for her face and her appearance. Literally cut me. Like, hang me at the stake, crucifixion for me, besties, because you would never catch me making fun of my daughter ever, or my son ever, for what they look like. That is already why. Meanwhile, at the exact same time, pop culture just keeps on gaslighting us. Fashion editors rave about diverse casting while retouching every bridge into a carbon-copied button. TikTok audios tell South Asians that their dorsal hump is giving witch energy seconds before they go ahead and push some sort of random clinic promoting an S-curve nose. It is so messed up that no matter where we look, everywhere, people are changing their noses and then going ahead and telling us to do the exact same thing. This can lead to a horrible level of face dysmorphia, which thousands of different women have to deal with all around the world. Now, we need to talk a little bit more about the reality that is nose dysmorphia. Open up TikTok and type in hashtag rhinoplasty. The first thing that comes up isn't some sort of medical disclaimer. You get a carousel of perky 20-something-year-olds peeling off their nose bridge casts to some like random fun and poppy music. Better not be Benson Boone. If you keep on scrolling, something sneakier happens. The app starts serving creators who look suspiciously like you. Same hump, same wide bridge, same family nose you never really worried about.
Every other week, I get a hate comment about my nose, and one thing about me is that I'm a contrarian. If you don't know what that means, it means that if I was insecure about my nose 5 minutes ago, which I'm not, suddenly if you make a mean comment about it, I love it. I could have been Googling nose jobs yesterday. And as soon as I see a mean comment about my nose, which is literally every other day, suddenly I never want to get a nose job in my life. I am the biggest supporter of big noses. So,
as we all should be, we love big noses here. Except they're filming before videos under some nasty bathroom fluorescent lights, and then after videos in front of golden, rich colored ring lights, raving about how their new nose unlocked a new form of confidence. They are feeding you the exact same propaganda over and over again. If their perfectly normal nose needed fixing, then your nose must be an emergency. You forget about septum collapse, prolonged swelling, or even the fear that you could wake up with a nose that looks like it belongs on someone else's face. All you remember is the dopamine hit of the new nose montage with everybody in the comment section saying, "Girl, your new nose hits. It just totally ate." That is how nose dysmorphia generates in 2025. Not through fashion magazines telling you to look like Paris Hilton, but through thousands of relatable strangers slowly sanding down their genetics into the same Pixar pixie silhouette. Platform then keeps the loop spinning. Surgeons keep the calendars full, and your perfectly normal nose starts to look a little bit more imperfect. Plus, all these edits totally skip everything from the anesthesia and goes all the way to the after. So this very serious surgery ends up looking about as simple as getting brand new lash extensions. We are starting to forget that a botched nose job can actually have some very severe and real consequences. Okay, glam break over. Let's pull back these ring lights and let's actually talk about what can actually go wrong with a botched nose job. Surgeons call the nose the diva of the face for a reason. It's a three-dimensional jigsaw of bone, cartilage, blood vessels, and airways that all have to keep working after someone whittles them down. When the math is even a hair off, the aftermath of the nose job is giving way less Cinderella and way more CSI Autopsy. And the most common nightmare that you could possibly experience is a saddle collapse. Picture removing too much cartilage from a tent pole. The roof caves in. 6 months after surgery, the bridge sinks, the tip droops, and you're suddenly Googling rib graft because the only spare cartilage sturdy enough to rebuild your airway is located in your chest. Talk about terrifying. Are you kidding me? All right, ribs. I'm done here. Like, I'm done. Take me out of here. Revision surgeons cost luxury car prices, and you still might end up whistling while you breathe. Yeah, and then there's something else that we haven't talked about, and that's tip necrosis. Yes, necrosis as in tissue death. Over-aggressive shaving can strangle the tiny arteries that feed the skin. At first, you think that the purple spot is just a bruise. 2 days later, it turns black and crusty. Then the ER doctor pretty much tells you that you've got a Michael Jackson cosplay on your hands that you can't actually remove. Even the smallest complications can actually snowball. A pinched tip steals airflow, so then you end up having to mouth breathe. So then you start waking up with Sahara Desert level cotton mouth. Ew. And you snore so loud like a chainsaw that your partner has to move to the couch. Sorry, I snore like a chainsaw anyway. I don't think I need any more of that, thanks. You could even get your nose infected, causing it to swell and turn red. Looking at pictures of myself before my nose job got infected. Oh my god, it's so sad. You spend all this time and money to go and get something done, only to be left with like a plethora of issues afterwards. Like, my confidence would be shot.
My nose job is infected. I'm filming for a brand today and we need to cover this up. I cannot be the only person who didn't know that you can still get infections months after surgery. I'm just gonna tap very lightly on the nose. It's so red. I was about to lay down for bed and all of a sudden I just feel this extreme pain in my nose. So I go to the mirror to go look. It has swollen like a balloon. I immediately called my doctor and was like, my nose is so swollen and red. I don't know what's going on. He sent me a prescription for antibiotics and I'm gonna see him next week. I'd be a lot more scared if the nose was turning purple, because that would mean that the tissue is dying. And that could also mean that your implant is rejecting and that you'd have to have surgery to get it removed. I think contour might be able to save us. But since it's only red, I'm not as scared. I've also heard of cases where noses try to revert back to its old shape. I swear that better not be happening. Let's add a few freckles to hide from the swelling. I'm gonna go film for this brand deal. Hopefully you cannot tell how swollen my nose is. I think I did a pretty good job.
My god, what a
How did I
pain.
do?
This is
Is my
horrible.
nose smaller? Can you tell it's infected? Ugh.
Each defect becomes its own rabbit hole of steroids, laser treatments, or yet another surgery. Revision rates actually hover around 20%, which is crazy. And every pass through the operating room can leave less and less cartilage for the doctors to work with. None of this horror show is meant to actually scare you away from any medical procedure ever. It's meant to balance the algorithm's never-ending parade of perfect aftershots. For every day 10 cast off, oh my god, I love my new nose, there are some somebody else out there that is stocking up on saline rinses because they haven't been able to smell coffee in 8 months. Honestly, the most subversive thing that a woman can do while the entire world is trying to monetize off of her flaws is do nothing. Keep the bump, keep the flare, and keep the nostrils that evolution naturally gifted to you. In 10 years, Barbie noses will be as dated as very thin brows and peplum tops. Lord knows I love them peplum tops for a hot minute though. But your real nose though, it is timeless. And the fact that it still lets you inhale, smell things, and like breathe normally without having to spend an arm and a leg is kind of incredible. Like, why change something that isn't broken? Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please throw out a big fat thumbs up and also comment down below. Are you guys on this rhinoplasty train? Are you guys looking to get your noses done? I feel like I have never, ever had an issue with my nose. I love it for what it is. And to be honest, I think it has something to do with the fact that I've never looked at it too long. If you look at something too long, I'm sure you'll find a reason to hate it. Or are you guys just loving your natural noses? I would love to hear your opinions down below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, you can go ahead and click here to find out why every single person is starting to look the same. It is absolutely bizarre. Or you can go ahead and click here to learn why all of the Kardashians are starting to age like milk, because girly, it's scary. None of the procedures are gonna save you from aging. We're all gonna get old, whether you like it or not. You know, I only make these videos because I love you and I truly want the best for you. I hope you have an amazing day or night or whenever you're watching, and I'll see you very soon. Mwah. Bye.